Welcome, humans, and any celestial body else out there listening. This is Curious Minds, Infinite Answers. I'm your host, Courtney Christine Cosco. This podcast, simply put, is a mix of human curiosity and how, with the help of AI technology, curious minds can get the answers we seek. Let's get mind-bending and plunge deep beneath the surface of our everyday thoughts. Let's begin. Close your eyes, unless you're driving. Strip away your name, your job, your memories. What's left? A breath, a sound, a feeling. That is reality. Everything else? Programming. By the time you were just 7 years old, the world had already told you who you were, what to fear, what to value, what to chase, and what to ignore. But beneath all of that is something older, something untouched, a version of you that saw the world without the filter. In this episode, we're going back to the world before you were taught how to see it. We're going to explore a space where science meets spirituality, where neurons fire and faith is put to the test. We'll get into how your early life defines your perception of reality and how those unconscious patterns might be shaping the world you think you see. We'll dig into neuroscience, psychology, ancient wisdom, and maybe even stir a few memories you didn't realize were still running the show. This isn't just about information, it's about liberation. So let's take a look at the world you've been taught to see and dive into consciousness and conditioning. And maybe, just maybe, catch a glimpse of the world that was always there underneath. We know that the universe is made up of atoms, molecules, force fields, gravity, and electromagnetism. But here's the dilemma. 70% of the universe is a mysterious force called dark energy, and we have no idea what it really is. All we do know is that it's the opposite of gravity, which brings things together. And this dark matter expands our universe at the speed of light. It's not atomic, like us, made of atoms. Einstein described dark matter as a cosmological constant. It was one of his biggest conundrums. I bring this up to set the stage for the rest of our talk today. I'd like you to consider that we don't know what we don't know, and we don't know a lot. It's all been a matter of conditioning. What we've been taught by humans who have only existed on this earth for approximately 300,000 years, though the earliest hominins appeared much earlier, around 7 million years ago. Well, we'll just have to take the written historical word as truth now, won't we? At any rate, I hope you gained some good takeaways from today's episode. Okay, let's finally get started, shall we? From the moment we open our eyes as infants, the world begins to shape us. And it doesn't take long. A child's brain is like wet clay, malleable, wide open. By age 7 or 8, most of our subconscious programming is already in place. Beliefs about safety, love, identity, success, belonging, all formed before we had the language to question them. This is the foundation of conditioning, not something we asked for, but something we absorbed through tone of voice, body language, emotional reactions, praise, punishment, even silence. And from that blueprint, our lens of reality was constructed. According to psychology, especially early thinkers like Piaget and Bowlby, we develop these mental frameworks that shape the way we interpret the world. Are people safe or threatening? Is love something we earn or something that just is? Are we worthy or not enough? Now combine that with neuroscience. The brain's job is efficiency. Once you've formed a pattern of belief or perception, your brain will do everything it can to protect it, even if it's false, even if it limits you. Deepak Chopra once said, "What you see, you become." What you see is a selective act of attention and interpretation. Let that sink in. You're not only seeing the world as it is, you're seeing it as you are, as you've been taught to be or exist in the world. And yet, here's the most important part. Before all of that, you were simply aware. Pure awareness. Not yet a daughter or a son. Not yet anxious or confident. Not yet black or white, poor or privileged, just consciousness, sensing, feeling, being. Chopra calls this the field of infinite possibilities. It's what remains when you strip away the noise. It's what the mystics, the monks, and even modern mindfulness teachers are pointing us back to. Because every moment we're alive, we're not actually experiencing the world. We're experiencing our nervous system's own interpretation of it. We're experiencing sensation, then attaching a meaning to it based on past programming. A raised voice equals danger. A closed door equals rejection. Silence equals abandonment. But none of those things are inherently true. They're filtered truths. There's a story I love I'd like to share. You may have heard it before. In a mother's womb were two babies. One asked the other, "Do you believe in life after delivery?" The other replied, "Of course not. This is all there is. We live in darkness. We float. We're fine. This is our reality." The first twin replies, "But maybe there's something more. Maybe after delivery we'll see light. And maybe we'll walk and use our mouths to eat and talk." The second laughed. "That's absurd. Walking, talking, eating with your mouth? We get everything we need through the cord." The first twin whispered, "But what if the cord is just temporary? What if there's more waiting for us?" The second twin says, "No one has ever come back from delivery, have they? Delivery is the end of life. That's final." The first stayed quiet for a moment and then said, "I still believe there's more. Maybe we'll meet Mother." The second replied, "Mother? You believe in Mother? Where is she? I don't see her." The first twin answered, "She's all around us. We're inside her. We couldn't exist without her." The second simply responded, "I don't see her, so I don't believe she exists." And so they floated in silence, two beings sharing the same space, but living in two entirely different realities, based on what they were willing to believe. I feel like it's such a powerful metaphor for perception, belief, and how we interpret the unknown, just like how we interpret reality now, through our conditioning. Like those twins in the womb, most of us live our lives inside a set of invisible beliefs we didn't choose. And it's not just humans. In nature, geese, when they hatch, as you may already know, attach themselves to the first moving object they see. Their mother, a human, even a rubber boot. This is called imprinting, a hardwired biological process meant for survival. But it's more than just survival. It's the beginning of identity. From that moment forward, that object becomes their truth. They follow it, trust it, and assume it's the source of life and safety, even if it never was. We're not so different. As children, we imprint too, not just on caregivers, but on patterns, on emotions. We attach to what's familiar because familiar feels safe, even if it isn't. A parent's silence, a disappointed glance, an angry outburst that taught us love and fear could live in the same breath. These early imprints become the lens we use to navigate the world, and until we examine them, many of us are following what moves without ever asking why. Neuroscience shows us that awareness, simply observing your own thoughts, emotions, and patterns, activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for conscious choice. In other words, when you witness your programming, you're no longer trapped in it. I would sit with that thought for just a second and unpack it, should you have the time. When you get to a point in life where you can slow down enough to observe your thoughts and emotions and separate them from who you truly are, one might say pure awareness or consciousness, not the body, not the thoughts, not even the personal identity we've constructed. Well, that's where transformation begins. Do you believe consciousness is separate from the body? So how do we begin to entangle the threads of conditioning and reconnect with the version of us that came before the programming? The first step is simple, though not always easy. Awareness. When you become aware of the lens, you are no longer trapped inside it. You start to witness your thoughts rather than being ruled by them. You notice your reactions and begin asking, is this really me or is this my imprint? That's where the rewiring begins. Some people eat psychedelic mushrooms for this. Anyway, Modern psychology calls this metacognition, thinking about your thoughts. Neuroscience calls it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reshape itself through conscious effort. You're not stuck. You're rewritable. So how do we begin the process? Well, here are a few practices to help you return to yourself. Number 1, mindful observation. Next time you feel a strong emotional reaction, try to catch yourself. Pause. Ask yourself, what am I really reacting to? What's the story I've attached to this moment? Is this truth or a memory disguised as now? Zoom on out with it. Number 2, inner child check-in. Close your eyes and picture your younger self. What were they told? What were they taught to fear or chase? What did they believe about love, success, worth? Can you offer that child a new truth? One rooted in compassion, not conditioning? Number 3, return to sensation. Strip away the story. What does this moment feel like? Not, I'm anxious because they haven't texted me back, but instead, my chest is tight, my breath is shallow. Before the meaning, there is only sensation. That's the doorway to presence. Number 4, gentle reprogramming. Speak to yourself with new language. I am safe. I am not my past. I am not my parents. I can choose how I see the world now. These aren't affirmations. I guess they could be, but instead think of them as recalibrations. You weren't born broken. You were born aware. The world shaped you, taught you, filtered your senses through its own projections. But that pure, sensing self, the one before the filter, is still in you. And every time you pause, every time you observe without judgment, every time you choose a new response, you return home to that self. The one that sees clearly, the one that knows truth before it's named. Not through someone else's lens, but through your own awakening eyes. You came into this world with no labels, no beliefs, no blueprint. Just breath, just sensation, just awareness. Somewhere along the way, that awareness got covered up, shaped, filtered, influenced. But what's beautiful is that underneath it all, you're still in there. The same spark, the same presence, the same stardust we're all made of, scientifically proven. And every moment of pause, every question asked, every layer unlearned is a homecoming. So if today stirred something in you, let it stay stirred. Let it move you. Ask different questions. Soften the grip of what you were taught. And remember, the most radical thing you can do in a conditioned world is see clearly. With love and with curiosity, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for tuning in to Curious Minds, Infinite Answers. I'm Courtney Christine Koskin, and I hope you'll join me for next week's episode as we proceed down the path of curiosity and discovery, uncovering various topics along the way. If you have any comments or want answers to your burning curiosities, drop me a line in the comments below. Until we meet again, find the good in the world, and if you can't find it, be the good.